Hey kids, Peter Von Panda here. I just ordered and bought a Bluetooth keyboard that not only is this clamshell style keyboard, but has a swiveling top, so you can use it in a variety of modes, including laptop / tablet mode. One of the things that I was really interested in is that a case like this is fairly unique. A clam case makes something similar. I got it in white, so to match my white iPad mini. This actually looks a whole lot to me like kind of those old MacBooks, the personal MacBooks. But what makes this unique is a couple of things. It's a Bluetooth keyboard. It's pretty easy to pair. I've already done that. You just power it on, the physical power switch here, and then a pairing button right there. You can see it took no more than a few seconds. It just asked you to enter the code that it shows you on the screen, and you're off and running. One of the things that I had an issue with is keyboard cases that have really crummy keys. So I'm just going to type in CNN.com, and I have no problems. It's a chiclet style keyboard. These keys actually have a lot of travel. There are little rubber stops here on the edges to keep the screen from actually slamming into it and hitting the keyboard. What's a little funny is that there's this kind of clear covering on the deck of the keyboard. It's very shiny, it's transparent, but it gives everything kind of a little bit of an ivory look there, whereas the plastic is kind of white. So I'm a little surprised that this isn't just the same textured, opaque, molded plastic, but it is what it is. So you kind of have this laptop-like device, which is very cool. And if you're using your iPad for work, that's almost a necessity. The other cool thing here is that this hinge, which is only the centerpiece here, is right now very stiff, and I kind of hope it stays that way because you can get pretty much any viewing angle you want. One of the things that I didn't like about my Logitech Folio is that you only had one viewing angle just because of the way the thing folded. So this is pretty nice, and actually you can see that I'm pushing the screen pretty far back here. One of the things I was wondering is how far can you push it before the iPad, which is heavier than the keyboard, actually topples it over. And it's kind of right here. That's where, but you get that's a pretty shallow angle. If I push it up just a little bit more, it does kind of stay on its own. It's kind of meta-stable. You can rotate it on its back, but that's about as far back as you can go. But that's actually a pretty nice working angle. I'm actually not disappointed with that. And if you're working at a table, I might even have it a little more vertical. So one of the things I'm happy about is it's not a problem to have it pushed back like that. The other thing that I've seen typically on these folios is that the hinge folds all the way back, and then you put the keys underneath the iPad. I've never been a big fan of that. In an actual computer like the Yoga and by Lenovo and some of those things, the keyboard actually shuts off. I would think you'd actually have to turn off the keyboard yourself, and so that you don't hit those keys. This will only fold this far back, but what I do like is that this hinge on the back swivels all the way around, and there's pretty good resistance there too. It definitely clicks into place in both of the forward facing and the back facing angle. But then you can slam it shut here and use it like a tablet. And the cool thing is, because of the way it's oriented with the power button down here and a cutout for the camera up here, you would only put it in this way. And if you're right-handed, so you're using your fingers on the tablet, sorry for all the marks, this actually gives you quite a bit of gripping area. So I actually am a really big fan of that. If you're left-handed, you could turn off your orientation lock and use it with the other hand. But, it just naturally works very well in this orientation for most people. Cutouts for the speakers, cutouts for the microphone, headphone jack, and power button there. Micro USB plug there. I charged it up for a little while. The other cool thing about this is that on the bottom There are some very, very small rubber feet. They're white here, but they are rubber. They're not plastic. They are a little squishy. I actually wish maybe they were a little bigger, but I recently was on a flight, and one of the things that I didn't like with my other folio was that the viewing angle for watching a movie on my tray was very vertical, so I just kind of always felt like I was looking down on the iPad. So I can move this back, but normally, if you have a folio that flips all the way back, you lose those rubber feet on the top. Sometimes they have them, but in this case, I can rotate it back, get a very shallow angle without having to worry about it being back because it's got all this support behind or underneath the iPad. And then you also have the rubber feet gripping the tray. So take it on a plane, train, a boat, it moves, you're moving around a little bit. These feet are going to hold it in place. You don't have to worry about slick keys being the surface on the table and the thing sliding around. So you can get that perfect viewing angle. You can, reuse these rubber feet. You don't have to worry about the thing flipping back. So it's great for work and play in my case. I'm really planning on using this particular one for my work tablet here because I think it's going to make a good companion piece for my iPad mini, whether I'm traveling and killing time or if I am stuck in a conference and taking notes. So I'm pretty excited about this. It's a pretty simple design. Like I said, it's only about $35-40, so it's pretty good value. This one doesn't have a name brand. I'll see if I can find a link to these suckers. But they do come in a variety of colors, often some obscenely bright colors, but the black and white are pretty subdued, but there's the teal, pink, and all those things too. I'm curious to see over, like I said, a long period of time, how this hinge holds up, both rotating. I certainly don't want it to be shaking a lot or get weak enough that it's doesn't stay in place. And we'll see. But anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, clamshell type of case with a swivel top for your iPad mini. Peter Von Panda, out.